Archer and the Devil.
Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome.
Hello and welcome.
Is that your intro?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking.
I think that should be the intro.
It's a bit bedtime story-ish, isn't
It is a bit. But some people might listen to this at bedtime.
True. Have we actually started now?
I don't know if you want it.
Yeah, we fuck it. Let's
Is
go.
it?
So that's my new intro. Hello and welcome to Archer and the Devil podcast.
Episode
Welcome! I couldn't do it, sorry. What are we? 23?
3. Oh, look, we just had a conversation.
Literally 30 seconds before.
We've been filming for 9 minutes. You've had 10 seconds of it. You don't need the outtakes of what we talk about when we're not on the actual podcast because we're horrendous people.
Hello and welcome
Hello.
to episode 23
Hello.
of the Archer and the Devil podcast.
That was very...
You can catch us live on BBC Sounds. You can't because they won't have us. Fuck them.
That sounded like this was going to be an educational...
That's what I'm saying. It sounds a bit like too highbrow, doesn't it?
It's way too highbrow for us.
It's not like, oh, you fucker.
It doesn't take much to be too highbrow for us.
Talking of highbrow,
We're very
How are
shitty
you?
people. I'm fucking awesome.
do you have to fucking swear?
No, I'm good, man. I'm beginning to get Christmassy.
You're beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
I'm beginning to feel a lot like Christmas.
Everywhere you can't do that.
That was quite good, actually.
YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
They'll demonetize us.
Well, we're not monetized in the first place. But
All those millions of viewers.
couldn't anybody that has a YouTube account just sign in and just press autoplay and just get our numbers up?
Go to the playlist.
And just press play.
Press play. There's
Leave
22 episodes.
Just leave it all night. Just literally go to bed, press play, leave it.
Do you like a Christmas tree?
Everyone could do that for a week. I think we'd be sweet.
We have a Christmas tree.
We have a Christmas tree. I mean, if we're talking about Christmas trees, you might as well talk about the one thing that you wanted to talk about straight away. It wasn't in the schedule. We are actually doing a little bit of planning now, but go talk about your fucking Christmas thing.
So on the way here, I was listening to Mickey Bubbles,
Michael Bublé for people that are uneducated amongst us.
the highbrow people.
Yep.
The people.
Michael Bublé.
Bublé,
Because, no, it's not Michael, he's not German.
One thing I do like, I was listening
French Canadian.
I got one of his albums, like 2012 Christmas album.
Yep.
He's probably got one every year.
I think it's the same one. I think they just
It might
changed
be.
the order of the songs.
It's a banger of an album, though.
Okay.
And there was two bits. There's one bit, I was listening to it on Saturday,
Yeah.
and there's one bit where he says "amour" instead of "more." So "amour," because "amour" is French for love.
Yeah,
and I'm
because
like,
he's French Canadian.
that's nice, that is.
Yeah.
That was a good touch.
Yeah.
I was listening to it in the car,
Okay.
and when he said it,
Yeah.
I can't remember what song it is now, but it ends with "more," but he says "amour," and I'm like, Mickey,
Okay.
that's why the ladies love you.
He's got it on lock.
You've got it
He's
down.
a handsome man,
Man,
though,
he's
isn't
a beautiful man.
People say I look like him.
Well dressed as well, always in a suit.
People say I look a bit like him.
It's like looking at Mickey Bubbles.
People said that.
But
No, that is a true story.
No, I'm
People
not
have said I look like Michael Bublé.
I mean,
I mean, one person said it, but just saying.
it's one more than I've ever
One
had.
other person said I look like Stephen Gerrard.
No one has ever said that I look like Mickey Bubbles.
And one other person said I look like Dylan Francis.
Would you do?
That one is true.
Episode 3,
Yeah.
Doppelganger
How do
episode.
you remember all this? Anyway, back to the original
It might have been
story.
episode 2. Anyway,
Michael Bublé is a wonderful man.
a beautiful man.
Singing in songs.
Christmas songs.
Yep.
He invokes that whole "'tis the season" spirit,
Yep.
except for
Uh-oh.
Santa Baby.
Okay.
Because when he sings it, he doesn't sing Santa Baby. He sings Santa Buddy.
Oh, dear.
Just commit. Don't know homo Santa Claus.
Why? So the original is sung by a girl.
It's quite, there's a Kylie version, which is quite
Yes. Yeah.
a
Like,
very,
sexy.
she wants to dick him down.
yes.
Or would he dick her
She's
down?
putting the moves down on Santa. Why are my lights not lit up?
I don't
Anyway.
know. Wow.
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. The volume, that was so loud.
Why is that? Okay. That wasn't expected.
So historically,
Yep.
that song
Yep.
has. There we go.
We're back in the game.
Back
Carry
in the
on.
game. Historically, that song has had quite a sexual "I want to bang"
Sung by a female, usually. Yeah.
with some not daddy issues, but Santa daddy issues.
Okay. Okay.
Who wants to get dicked down by Santa Claus? And the thing is, if you want some Santa Claus dick, I'm not going to stand in the way of that. You go get your Santa Claus dick.
I mean, we didn't discuss this to begin with. Santa Claus's dick was never mentioned once.
It wasn't.
You was talking about Michael Bublé.
That's true. I took it to a dark place.
Get back to the point.
So the point is, if you're a man
Yep.
and you want to sing that song,
Yep.
you can't take that sexual energy
Right.
thriving through that song out and just change it to Santa Buddy.
I know, mate.
He's not your mate.
Also, it's not like you can still, like, you go, yeah, baby, as a man. You know what I mean? Like, you go, like,
He no homo to that song.
you know what I mean? You like, you say baby a lot, fucking whatever.
I don't say baby a lot.
But you don't then go, oh no, I can't say that in a song because. So do you think there's people out there that are singing the song if it's on the radio and they're changing it themselves?
Well, it's okay.
Do you think?
You know when non-black people sing songs with the N word in?
Yeah.
Do you edit yourself or do you go? Does it depend on your company? If there's black people around you, you're like.
I'll be honest, I don't really listen to that sort of music.
Yeah, yeah.
S Club 7 don't drop many N-bombs.
Don't.
No, or 5.
Or 5. That's
You know
true.
what I mean? Backstreet Boys, they're pretty chill. No, I mean, I'll
The
be
thing
honest.
about fucking.
Yeah, but not.
Everybody
like,
Get Down is surely
yeah,
about
but
fucking,
not
right?
not like explicit, like where you have to fucking edit yourself.
If you're in just top of my head, of 5, Everybody Get Down, 5 or.
Make you get up.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
Is that about a gangbang? Or?
Everybody get down because 5 will make you get up.
Okay, then.
Slam dunk the funk.
Is that
That's a
the same
different
song?
song.
Oh, right, okay. But yeah, so my point is that if you're a man and you're going to sing a song called Santa Baby,
Yep. Don't be afraid.
don't be afraid.
Just sing it.
Don't be afraid.
Embrace it.
That's the sentiment.
Embrace your inner baby.
Embrace your inner baby.
Stop being a little bitch. I did listen
What's my
to
rule?
the other day, but we can't both drink at the same time because then there's no fucking.
For a second. Are you still with us all? Did everyone...
You stop talking.
Did
as
everyone...
I
I know,
watched me drink.
because I wanted to see if everyone stopped listening because we had a drink.
You might think that your phone's froze or something.
Yeah,
but
it hasn't froze. We're just having a drink.
I was listening to.
Go on.
I think it's McFly.
Okay.
What I go to school for.
Isn't that about banging a teacher?
It's not aged well, that song. I'll be honest. The lyrics are, I went to her home, I climbed a tree, I looked through a window, I seen her, she was in her underwear, I wanted to see more. So I went back to school and threw my pencil on the floor so I could see more. And that's why I go to school and I want to marry her. I mean, if you're climbing up a tree outside your teacher's house...
To look at some... Today's...
chances are you're probably a wrong un and you might be on one of them Facebook vigilante groups. Just saying, just putting it out there.
But with that said, if you're at the height of your adolescent discovery of the fairer sex,
You still shouldn't be climbing trees to look through people's windows.
I never climbed trees for that reason.
That has never been okay. Like, I don't think it was okay.
I don't want to
when they wrote the song. If I'm honest,
I don't want to king Shane McFly. I don't want to king. Wait, is that the one with Charlie eyebrows in, or was that busted?
Charlie Eyebrow. No, that's busted. I thought you meant the woman.
That made me
the
cry
teacher.
so quickly.
I
Like,
don't-
it's just a Charlie eyebrows. My eyes just went.
I don't know. No, is it busted or is it McFly?
I think
no,
that
it's
was,
McFly.
it was busted.
no,
No, wait, who sang the song?
McFly sang the song.
You know what? I never got with McFly.
What?
We've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but we live underwater.
I mean, that's quite a lot. That's quite a big change.
everything.
It's quite a drastic
We're
change.
now under SpongeBob's rule.
Yeah, like not much has changed, but
Why am I
everything is
crying?
underwater.
Every week I cry. Every week. Every week I fucking cry about something on this podcast.
That's a good point. I've never thought about it like that before. Like, not much has changed,
But we live.
but we all live underwater.
Yeah, unless they're trying to be ironic in their understatement of not much has changed.
Yeah, but
Like, not much has changed, but we live underwater.
I mean, there was kids. I don't think there was that much thought that
We know
went
you're listening, McFly. Get
I
in
don't
touch
think
with us.
that was busted. I don't
Oh,
think
was
much
it?
thought went into that.
What was who had the song about how she has like 5 colours in her hair?
McFly.
That was a banger.
That was their first song.
Was it? That was about. Did you ever watch My Step Parents Were Aliens?
No.
That was like a kids' TV show.
Right.
And the girl in that. Was it about her? I think it was about her. Or there was a show called As If, and there was a character called Suze. I think it was about her.
I didn't know any of this.
Pop
And I thought you
culture
weren't.
info.
I thought you weren't a McFly fan.
I'm not. I just know a lot about pop culture.
Seems like you are.
Well, I mean, I've been to all of their gigs. I've got all the merch, but this is
Not
all
that bothered.
It's all a facade. It's all just a show. You.
So
This is delicious, by the way. I'm drinking rum.
changing the subject.
I love rum.
Away from McFly and Santa Baby. Just embrace it. It's fine.
Just embrace it.
I was listening to Radio 1 this morning with what I think is arguably, with who I think is arguably the best Radio 1 DJ in my lifetime, Mr. Greg James.
Don't know who that is.
He's breakfast Radio 1 DJ.
Was Johnny Vaughan everyone?
Don't know.
Okay.
I don't like Johnny Vaughan. He's a bit of a dick. But everyone raved. I'd usually like Chris Moyles, but...
I like Moyles.
Yeah, see? But Greg James, I think he's better than Chris Moyles.
I haven't listened to Radio 1
because...
in decades.
Greg James is with the times. Chris Moyles is still dragging
past.
out Pat Sharp and fucking...
Whole lot of fun prizes.
Roy Walker and God knows what else. He's still...
Bullseye.
Catchphrase.
Oh,
he's still having these people on his show. He's still doing the same gags, the same references. Like shit's not changed. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Greg James he's a breakfast DJ.
That's why I stopped DJing.
It's entertaining.
I used to DJ from when I was 16 or 17 years old until I was 27.
Right.
And at 27 I retired.
I mean, at the top.
Because at the top of my game.
Standard.
Because I realised that I still lived very much in the 90s and was like...
What's the point?
If people ask me for these bands, I don't know who that is. Is that Serial? Is that... what's...
It kind of stops at McFly and Busted. Anything
If someone said to me, like, play Youngblood, but like, you call me Youngblood? Is that colloquial terminism?
No, I'm all right. Thanks, old blood. I'm good.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I retired and let younger generations... I've moonlighted every once in a while.
Youngblood has a podcast.
Does he?
Apparently so.
He's a really good looking guy.
On BBC Sounds.
He's a really handsome man. He's got that whole Robert Smith vibe about him.
He's very Liam Gallagher, isn't he? He's from Manchester, I think.
I don't know squat about him.
I don't know him. I've heard his songs.
I've heard,
I think
3 seconds
but
of one.
I know he's got a podcast with... his album went to #1 this week, Youngblood.
Oh, did it?
And he was on the chart show. I was driving to the shop, I think, and I heard him come on, and it was announced that he was #1. And he sounded like a really humble guy. Like, he was really cool. Like, he was really buzzing.
I didn't know he was British. So.
Like, the actual charts is still a thing. Like, he actually said... Because apparently you get an award for a #1 album.
Oh, okay.
Like a trophy thing.
Like a plaque or...
no, like a proper trophy, I think.
Oh, okay.
He said, I'm going to melt it down. I'm going to melt it down and have it made into paper clips. And then I'm going to give all the paper clips to all my fans, which I thought was a nice thing because he's like, I'm #1 album because
of my fans.
You've all bought the album.
Why a paperclip?
Because it's small, I guess. So
yeah,
and then you can just give a lot. You'll get a lot out of... I don't know how big the award is.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean, if it's quite small, he must have...
Like 7 paperclips.
Don't know. But yeah, anyway.
So Radio 1, you were listening to the radio?
Oh, yes. This morning. Mr. Greg James. And he had a brief segment.
Okay.
That included Sir Brian Cox.
Is he, sir?
No. Professor.
Should be.
But he should be because he's a fucking
Do
fascinating
you know
guy.
Brian Cox was in D-Ream?
He was, which brings us back around to music. Anyway.
And which were famous in 1992 for the banger that was Things Can Only Get Better.
Which is also adopted by one of the political parties.
The Tories. No, David Cameron used it.
That's right.
And then Brian Cox said, get the fuck away from my music. So,
anyway.
I like Brian Cox for that alone.
Right, I think this lights up.
Does it? Oh, yeah. Mate, we're like fucking... We've been 4 hours into this podcast. And you've only just realised, listeners, that the little wonky Christmas tree in front of us...
My mum donated it to us for the podcast.
It
also straightens up, look, because I think it's basically a pod. Anyway, back to the subject.
Yeah.
Back to the subject.
Go on. Brian Cox.
Right now. Brian Cox was...
Professor Brian Cox.
Sir Brian Cox was...
Brian Cox, who always talks like it.
I can't remember what he was talking about. Somebody mentioned... initially they was talking about... You know what he's like? He goes off on this tangent.
He does.
So apparently he's got a TV show on BBC iPlayer called Planets, and they were saying that how everybody went back to it during lockdown because people need to be grounded as such. Like, it was a different world and everything else. Everything was all going all over the place. So people kind of took it back on themselves to feel like they belong in the universe and their place. And this was their theory as to why people watched it. So people, you know what I mean? Like, it was a bit... ow! Bastard! I just caught my fucking elbow on a nail sticking out the wall. Ow! So
Man down.
So
we need a medic.
They were saying like it's.
Are you okay?
But I'm fine. People was watching the TV show because they wanted to be grounded and they wanted to feel like it was their place and that they belonged and all this sort of stuff. So then they started saying, he was saying like, us as a species, as a human race, we are very unique. Although they don't think we are the only human race, we are the only living
intelligent race, or species.
Thinking, right? He actually described it as a thinking being, basically. We are
sentient being.
No, thinking. We are very limited. They don't think that there's many thinking beings in the universe. I think he actually mentioned like the number 10. I might be wrong, but there's not many of us that are actually thinking, progressing. Although we're doing a lot of damage to the world, whatnot, we are actual thinking beings. Yeah. So anyway, he then just dropped in briefly. Actually, there's been some research where they do think the world is a hologram, and then just moved on. And I was like, whoa, what? What did you just say? Immediately thought of Kanye West. Instantly.
Oh, okay, because of the...
Kanye is ahead of his time,
he really is.
He
really is.
And now he's busting out holograms.
He's the most genius man in the world.
And he's busting out holograms of KK's dad. You know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, like this guy... he's the future of this world, right? He's the future of our generation, Kanye West is. Or yay.
I've always said that.
Or yay to his friends.
Easy.
So I was like, okay, so I've been thinking about it all day. Okay. Right? I mean, I say thinking about it. I've been going over that same sentence all day. Like, are we holograms? Like, just poking things and touching things, going, no, that's real.
But if you're a hologram, you might be getting to this anyway, or alluding to it. Would you have the self-awareness to acknowledge your own hologramness?
I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I then came home and
Googled it.
Almost immediately Googled I thought it was a new thing. Turns out it's not. Yeah. So there was mentions of black holes.
Shall I read?
Well, I was researching it as you walked in. Yeah. And I thought, strap in, I'm going to be intelligent AF in this podcast because I'm going to tell this story and I'm then going to know all this information about it. And then we can have this conversation.
You seem quite excited.
And I'm going to blow your mind. You're going to be like, fuck, man. Like, he knows his shit. Like, he knows what he's talking about. Then I read
the statement.
Just one paragraph, which I would like. Let me get it up. Let me read
it. I took a photo of it, so it's not.
And then, so I was doing my research, and this is one of many things that came up. So I put, what does a holographic universe mean? Right, because that was what he said. The world is we're holograms, or the world is a hologram, or the people in it are holograms. I'm pretty sure he said the people in it we are holograms, right? This was the statement, I would call it, that explains what does a holographic universe mean. Right.
Go on.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
The holographic principle states that the entropy of ordinary mass, not just black holes, is also proportional to surface area and not to volume.
Obviously.
That volume itself is illusory. Illusory?
You said it right the first time.
Illusory. And the universe is really a hologram which is isomorphic to the information inscribed on the surface of its boundary.
I've always said that.
And that, my friends... is the end of my story because I am even more confused now than when I started.
Right.
Then there was theories of Stephen Hawking got involved, and I'm like, well, if he doesn't know, and it's only a theory from him, I'm fucked. Well, I'm out.
I was having dinner with my friend Nikki later, so I spoke to Nikki very quickly. Me and Nikki have a lot of these kinds of conversations.
Okay.
About the universe, about the meaning of everything.
Okay.
And I thought Nikki will be able to break this down.
Yep.
And I read it out to Nikki, and Nikki went,
don't know what the fuck that means.
What the fuck did you just say?
Yeah.
And she did say it might be an idea to break down a couple of those words.
Okay, yeah. Well, I didn't know what isomorphic means.
So, So the three I think that will probably need to be broken down for people is entropy.
Yep.
Entropy is lack of order or predictability, gradual decline into disorder. So it's basically like decay. So it's something breaking down.
We'll break the words down and then reread the
I'm going to.
Okay.
So that's entropy.
Yep. Okay.
And then you have isomorphic, which is corresponding or similar in form or relations, so having the same form. So all isomorphic is this: it's having the same form as the subject.
Okay.
And
you're getting very.
We haven't had a spill since episode 1.
No, exactly, but you're getting very animated, so I'm just taking precautions.
And illusory is based on illusion, so it's not real.
How do you say it?
Illusory.
So I did say it right.
Yeah.
Illusory.
So,
let's
reread it
in Archer terms.
Right there. The holographic principle states that the entropy, so the decay of all matter, or of ordinary mass, not just black holes. So of ordinary mass means what we assume to be us, the planet we live in. Just ordinary mass is everything, not just to black holes. It's also proportion to surface area and not volume. So the holographic principle states it. Is that, I'm trying to
put it in Archer terms.
Trying to put it in any terms. So the idea of the universe being a holographic principle, is that everything is proportionate in its current being, not just within its volume. So on every measurable account of it, it's holographic. The whole thing would be holographic.
I don't think they're using the term holographic the same as what Kanye West did. That's what I got from it.
Though, I mean, okay, we'll go into hologram in a second.
What they're basically explaining is a hologram is 2D.
Yeah.
And we are 3D.
Yeah.
And they're basically trying. I think the theory is that black holes are 2D and they're not 3-dimensional. So what I read an example about if you threw in the work of Shakespeare into a black hole, it wouldn't disappear. It would go into the black hole. You would know the surface, the weight, everything, all the mass of it.
That's what it means with surface area. Yeah.
So if you knew all them parameters,
an ordinary mass,
and you took it back out, and you knew all them parameters, you could effectively put it all back together again.
Yeah, because
it's not lost.
There's 3 known the spatial dimensions, and this happened on a previous podcast. There's 3 spatial, 1 temporal.
Oh God!
Fuck you, old Sonny, for not knowing.
Not that fucking word.
So the 3 spatial dimensions are width, length, and depth. That's 3D.
Yeah.
And the temporal dimension is time.
Right.
So the arrow of time.
But they're saying on that it's surface area.
Yeah.
As opposed to time.
Right.
So that's their theory.
Yeah.
Is that we're holograms in a terms of it's about the size as well as the time, rather than just the time
against each other.
I think.
And also, this is the whole theory of time travel and everything else.
Please don't turn off.
Stay with us.
Stay with us. Turn off. Because even if you don't understand,
dick jokes are coming.
Marvel at our stupidity. Stupidity.
Our stupidity. I'll just finish. So the volume itself is illusory, so an illusion, and so it's not real.
Yes. Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah.
So the volume itself is not real, and the universe is really a hologram, which is isomorphic, which meant, I'm asking you because I don't remember.
It was
having the same form,
right?
Corresponding.
Can someone text Brian Cox and get him on for us?
Yeah, please? If you've got him in your phone book,
just text him and say, "Look, these lads really need your help." Because he explains shit in a really clever way.
Okay, so so the volume itself is not real, and the universe is really a hologram, which is the same form to the information inscribed on the surface of its boundary.
Okay.
So,
explain.
I read this half an hour ago.
Yeah, explain.
Haven't had time to.
But you're more intelligent than me.
I'm not more intelligent. I just read more shit about this kind of shit.
Okay.
So I have a better.
So therefore, you're more intelligent than me on this subject.
So I think the principle, and if I'm wrong,
the holographic principle.
don't tell anyone.
Yeah. Shh.
The holographic principle is that the universe exists within a boundary of what it is. There's no further. There's no.
Right, I'm with you. So yeah. So it's not like time is infinite.
Yeah.
And all that sort of stuff.
It's almost like we're trying to put a rational meaning
that's what they
behind
mention
it.
about it's not just the time, it's also the surface area and all that sort of stuff. It's like, it's as big as what it is in terms of the size of what it is.
Yeah.
So like, if you put that in a glass in a black hole, it's still that size. It's not time, it's still that.
Well, there was that thing because there's that theory of relativity as well, which is the whole going to Shakespeare again.
Yeah.
Which also leads me, this is quickly a retraction. Last week, I made a mistake.
Okay.
I said...
Shame.
I think...
Shame.
We missed the start of that.
It doesn't matter. People got the
So
gist.
I said incorrectly. I meant to say,
yeah.
I think therefore I am.
Yeah.
But I misquoted it to Shakespeare, to Billy O'Shakes.
Right.
But it wasn't. It was Descartes who said it.
Okay.
But where my confusion was that I was thinking of to be or not to be. So just correction.
Okay, literally there's only you that cares about that.
My friend Joe corrected me and Nikki on the
had
phone
forgotten
earlier.
you'd even
as well.
said it.
I didn't.
And also you've now gone off the subject.
I haven't, because I'm still on Billy O'Shakes.
Okay.
So Billy O'Shakes,
Yep.
all of his work,
Yep.
there's a theory that if you had an infinite amount of monkeys with an infinite amount of typewriters,
Yeah.
that eventually
Yeah.
they would write out
Yeah.
the entire
Works of Shakespeare. Okay.
So that's the theory of relativity.
Yeah.
Which
That's how I
is-
passed my exams. Same process. Basically, yeah. But with actual monkeys.
Oh, with actual monkeys?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. I just sent a monkey dressed up in my school uniform to sit at the table.
You were 6'2" then, right?
Yeah, but he was a big monkey. Nobody even batted an eyelid. And I didn't get any GCSEs.
we went to the same school. That doesn't surprise me.
I didn't get any GCSEs, which is effectively would have been the same result as if I'd sat down myself. So anyway, carry on.
Failed.
Yes. But look what you could be. Look what you could be.
Right, yeah.
You could have your own podcast.
Look at us now.
Exactly.
Look at us now. But yeah, so the thing is, I don't think the universe is a hologram. But I'm also not as smart as Brian Cox.
I agree with Brian Cox. No offense.
No, I'm not offended.
No offense.
I'm not offended.
But I mean, he didn't say it was his.
No.
He said science.
Here's the thing, and I think a lot of this, when in the past we talked about the whole aliens theory. Did they build the pyramids? Did they create genetics of humanity?
Human and human.
My favourite part of any podcast we've ever done there.
You know what I mean? Human and human.
Yeah, we're
Hashtag me too.
and hue gender
Neutral. Hue them as well.
Hue those as well. Always hue those.
Don't ever forget to hue them people.
You've got to hue those people.
Carry on.
So no, but I think that we're very limited. I'm trying to keep my shit together here. We're very limited in our understanding of things, which is fine.
Human.
We are. If you think the universe is 4.5 billion years, no, it's not. Yes, it is.
Don't stop quoting shit.
Wait, I'm
Have
not.
You not learned?
No, it's 4.5 billion years old. 4.53 billion years old.
Precisely.
The universe is, right?
Precisely.
Not down to the minute.
Is that after that? Because minutes don't exist in space.
They don't.
We've learned that on the
We have.
podcast.
Episode 5.
Somebody said to me actually yesterday, I am a bit stupid. So when I listen to your podcast, I do feel like I'm smarter afterwards.
How do you feel now?
So shout out to you. You know who you are.
How do you feel on this one? I need more time to prep.
Well,
I need to research
so
these
did I,
things.
and I tried, and I'm still fucking none the
You
wiser.
tried for 7 minutes while I was having a cigarette, but it all counts. It's all relative. Theory of. See what I did there? Right. We give you science jokes here.
Good film.
Which one?
The Stephen Hawking film.
It's not Stephen Hawking. It's it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Theory of relativity.
Your man in a wheelchair.
What's his name? Eddie
Redmayne.
Redmayne.
Eddie Redmayne.
All right. So going back to my previous point, I think the problem is that we don't have answers, but people want to implement answers on things. This is genuine. This isn't me being funny anymore.
Oh, okay.
And I do think a big reason why people are like aliens built pyramids or
because it's an easy answer.
Yeah, because well, we don't know. So
Yeah.
if we don't know, it's got to be aliens, or we just don't know, and that's fine. It's okay to say I don't know. And I think there's.
I've just remembered the last time we talked about aliens and the pyramids and what you said.
What did I say? What did I say?
Stop taking shit off brown people.
100%. Every time brown people do anything,
saying it's aliens.
they say it's aliens. Every time a brown person accomplishes anything more than like 50 years ago, it's not even like
Stop saying it's aliens.
It's aliens.
But I agree with Brian Cox.
Because Brian Cox said it.
Yeah, because he said that he believes that there's not many species in the universe. But he
Based on what?
science and shit.
So the science that we have so far, that's, 2,000...
Also, it goes back to
Years
the
old.
other argument of we're looking.
If you didn't see because you're listening, those inverted commas.
We're looking for other species all the time, and we've never found it.
Maybe they're eluding us.
Isn't the other species going to be looking for us as well?
Again, I watched Independence Day this week again, right?
Right.
Holds up for a start. 25 years old that film is now.
Really?
Still holds up. Will Smith punches the alien.
Doesn't
Welcome
look
to Earth.
any younger
He
or
looks
older. Looks
yeah.
exactly the
He
same.
does. He's aged well.
Yeah.
Will Smith.
He's a lizard man. Carry on.
I've always thought that. He's got a double wink.
He doesn't look any different.
He does.
He doesn't.
No, he does. He has aged.
He just looks a bit thinner
He's older now than
than he was.
James
then.
Avery was when Fresh Prince started and he was Philip Banks, Uncle Phil. He's older now than Uncle Phil was.
What?
Yeah, so Will Smith is older now than Uncle Phil was when Fresh Prince started.
Is that where Dr. Phil got his name?
No, I think that's just his name. I think his name is Phil, and he's got a doctorate.
I don't think he's a doctor.
Is he not?
I think it's a load of
Like,
bullshit.
like Dre.
No, Dr. Dre is definitely not a doctor. Or Dr. Fox.
Do you know what I want?
What?
Come on.
Dr.
No,
Hillary,
no.
medicine woman.
Ludicrous.
Oh, no! You're not having that again. You're not having that again.
Oh, man. I wish we filmed that episode.
No, because that's not.
Oh, that was beautiful.
That's
That was episode 14.
It's a different
So a lot of
conversation.
throwbacks in this one.
There is.
Right, okay. So what I'm saying to you is that the problem is that a lot of people don't have answers. I'm still crying. To the questions that we're not going to know answers to. So like aliens,
women.
women. There's one.
No one has the answer to
No
that
one
shit.
has answers to
Nobody.
women.
They think they do.
Hashtag not sexist.
Just honest.
Just yeah. It's a confusing thing
Yeah.
sometimes. And I think the problem is that people want an answer, so they'll theorize on what could be.
Where do odd socks go? That's a question that everyone wants to answer as well.
Let's do a podcast on it that we'll never ever release.
How does it? Anyway,
I mean, how many socks have you lost?
recently I bought some new socks, and they came with their own wash bag.
Right before we started recording, you
How
said, let's
bougie
try to
is
stay at a
that?
point for longer than 43 seconds.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
far, we've been
I
everywhere.
was well excited about these socks. They're proper, like, thick woolen winter socks.
Okay.
And it was quite expensive. And they came with their own wash bag. How bougie is that?
That's bougie as fuck.
They came with their own zip-up wash bag.
So you don't lose one.
So you don't lose one.
Did you lose one?
I did, because I didn't use the bag. So, point proven. If you get a wash bag with your socks, fucking use it.
In the summer, I did a wash and I lost a sock.
Was that the last time?
I did laundry on...
He has a shower once a week.
I shower every day. I'm one of the cleanest people I
He has
know.
a shower once a week and washes his
You
clothes
literally told me at the
twice a
start of
year.
this you hadn't showered since Saturday.
That's true.
So... I've had 4 showers.
Not even ashamed.
I've had 4 showers since then.
Not even ashamed.
I shower at least
I've
once
done
a day.
nothing this weekend and
I'll
thoroughly
still
enjoyed
shower.
it.
I think there's been one day this year I didn't shower. It was about 6 p.m. It's locked down, and I was like, "Fuck
I
it."
regularly go days without
can't, no, I
showering.
shower
Fuck
every day.
that. I don't care. Who am I impressing? All I'm doing is smelling myself.
Just trying to
Who gives
impress
a
myself.
fuck? Nah,
I'm the most.
bollocks to it.
I'm the most important person in my
I
world
think
right
you're
now.
overreacting.
Anyway, I can't even remember. I feel like we need to get back.
You was
to
talking
Bublé
about
to work our way.
about,
Yeah.
You was talking about existence in the world.
So okay, with the whole alien thing, is there? I think I read a thing actually this week where they've come to the conclusion that we are the most intelligent species in the universe.
We or
Humans.
Me and you.
Me and you.
Oh, okay.
No, they released a thing saying Arch of the Devil.
I mean, I was just
The host of.
wanted to confirm.
If you missed this article, I won't post a link to it. Just find it. I'm not doing any homework for you.
But there's every chance there will be a picture going up on social media of said article that will say Archer and the Devil are the most intelligent
Well, now
human
there has to be.
beings.
So, but I mean, by the theory of relativity and the whole fucking monkeys and typewriters, there's a universe out there where we are literally the most intelligent beings on the planet. There's nothing to say it's not this one.
Who's we again?
Well,
Everyone.
That's
Or me and you.
You know how I said there's nothing to say that that's not the case? You just gave a reason.
I'm really confused.
Me and you.
Right, okay.
You're back in the
So
room.
in an alternate universe, we are gods.
I mean, I didn't say gods.
Okay, just
I just said
clever as
the
fuck.
most. Yeah.
Okay.
But you just completely decimated that entire
Oh,
argument.
because I was an idiot. Right, I get it now.
So it's not this one. It's not this universe.
I'm with you. Start that again.
So no,
We'll edit that bit out.
We'll edit that bit.
We'll edit that bit
You
out.
always say that. We never edit anything. It's all in. It's all in.
Funnily enough, this is a one-take podcast.
It always is.
Do you really think we would leave half this shit in if it wasn't? Really?
Honestly, I've never ever cut out
Anything?
a second.
No.
A second.
Most we do is bleep the odd word.
Yeah.
That's it.
Dolphin noises.
But nothing ever gets
No.
edited out. If it's
It's-
shit, it stays in.
If you watch it and the edit looks like you just cut, we haven't. That's just how it is. But
No.
it's all one shot.
We're all good.
Anyway, so yeah, there is not even a chance if you apply the theory of relativity as being a form of unquestionable truth. There is probably more than one universe where we are the smartest people in it. But there's also another universe where every other person is. So that's 65 million universes straight after. No, 7 billion, sorry, because there's 7 billion people on the
I
planet.
don't believe that's true.
I'm not asking you to. I'm not saying I believe
Because
it's
I
true.
think that's a lot of work.
I
God.
think, but okay, so here was the thing though, going back to the whole.
I can't imagine Jesus.
For God,
Yeah,
wait.
you know what I mean? I can't imagine Jesus doing
I missed that then. You said it and just went past. I
60
carried on
million,
going.
and that's just our country. You know what I mean?
Just,
Like,
well, 65 million in this country, yeah.
there's a lot of people in China.
I mean,
there's a
there
lot
was
of
1.3
alternate
billion.
universes.
So it's all of them. So there's a bit in Endgame where he's
Yeah.
having a moment,
Right.
and he goes like, "I've seen 44 million timelines. How many do we win in? One. Well, that's convenient, isn't
How
it?"
many? A what?
He sees 44 million. I'm going off the top of my head here.
Yeah.
Alternate timelines.
Yeah.
Where they try something different every
Oh,
time.
how many are we in, did you say?
No, that's how many he sees in the film. For fuck's sake.
I didn't hear the word. Did you say how many are you winning in? Or
Oh
how
yeah,
many-
we win in one.
We win.
That they beat Thanos.
Oh, because it's a yeah, okay.
Avengers.
44 million.
Uh,
We
again,
only winning one.
I didn't say there was 44 million. I did say it, but I did also say
I mean,
I picked a number. But
it's a good fight, that is,
I
isn't it?
need a minute. I need a minute to contain. 'Cause I'm getting really excited.
Why?
I don't know. I
Is it
can't.
because we're talking about space?
I
and
can't
shit?
keep a train of thought at the moment. I need to. 'Cause it's a very important subject matter.
Is it rum or is it the fact that
I haven't eaten
Is it
today.
what we're
and
talking
I'm just
about?
drinking.
Or
Yeah,
what-
it's a bit of everything.
You're just having a good day.
I'm
Are you okay, hun?
Good.
Do you need to inbox me?
Good.
Huh?
I'll slide in your DMs later.
Okay. What? Are you done with space?
No, I'm not done.
Oh,
Okay. What I'm trying to say,
okay.
because I'm failing so miserably at, is to say that we are the most intelligent life form,
Well, there's two of us.
as a species,
Beings.
beings,
As a species. Okay.
As a
I thought you were
species.
talking about me and you again.
in the vast unknown entity that is the universe,
Yeah.
is narcissistic, it's arrogant, it's presumptuous.
It's also, at the minute, reality.
But that's what I was alluding to.
Oh,
It's
okay.
ultimately the extent of information that we have. We are,
The only ones.
so far.
Because nothing's been proved
So
otherwise.
far. But Independence Day tells us. They
And
might-
Star Wars.
And Star Wars. That's a galaxy far, far away. That's a whole different thing.
A whole multiple series of Star Trek.
Yeah. Though that's based in the future, isn't it?
Red Dwarf. There's many other
Well, there's loads.
documentaries that
Documentaries. Very, yeah.
But there's many other documentaries that state otherwise, none of which.
But I think what I'm trying to say is I wish they would just go, we don't know yet. This is what we do know so far.
Yeah, but then you won't get government funding. You won't get, you know what I mean? Like,
well,
you won't get.
If anything, you'd be like, well, let's go and find out.
Yeah, but that's what they're doing.
Send a probe out into the fucking.
That's what they're doing. But they don't just go, well, we don't know. And then we're like, well, why are you looking?
But
we think is a way better way to get, is a much better way.
But they don't say we think, they go like scientists now claim.
Yeah, exactly. Because the scientist has gone.
I hate that as well. Scientists now claim.
The scientist,
but if you're a physics scientist teacher at fucking like a rudimentary level, and you make a claim, can you say scientists now claim?
I think
I'm getting my doctorate in something in like what's the easiest chemistry probably.
That's all you've got to say. You literally just got I think, and because nobody can prove you're wrong, and you have letters after your name.
No, you have to have a proof.
No,
you do.
It's a theory.
No, because
I need to call him Richard Hawking. I don't know who he is. Stephen Hawking didn't have any proof.
No, but
that's why it's a theory.
No, because the point. What did he write? What was his book?
He's a good blagger, is basically what he is.
That's what it is.
The better you are at blagging,
imagine if it wasn't more realistic, or the computer.
Do you know what I'm saying? The more you the better you are at blagging,
memory of
the
Stephen
more
Hawkins.
Chance you get of being believed.
No,
that it's science.
No.
Science, until it's proven, is a blag.
Kanye can blag, right? If he said to me, aliens are real, you'd be like, nah. You need the suit and the PhD to go with it.
But that's what I'm saying, but it's still a blag.
It is.
It's just a more believable blag because you've got... If a scientist said to you, I'm going to have the biggest fucking album in the charts, you'd be like, jog on, mate. If Kanye West said that, you would believe him because he's a musician.
Well, no, but not only that, it's a different thing between saying I'm going to have the biggest thing in the charts because that's plausible. Yeah, but it's a theory of its future for a start. I'm predicting something that might happen rather than saying...
Same as a scientist.
It's not at all.
It is. No, I've got this theory that in 20 years, the world's going to come to an end. Well, what is your theory based on? Well, it's based on X, Y, and Z. I've got a white coat and letters after my name. Believe this, motherfucker. Yeah, but Kanye West says, I'm going to do this. Believe me. And you go, well, I mean, he's a musician.
The thing is, again, even that, like, I'm obsessed with the end of the world.
I thought you could say Kanye West.
No, I like him. But I've watched like 5 end of the world films this week. I don't know why.
Can't you tell that somebody's on furlough? Jesus Christ.
Thank you for paying for me to watch. Look, you know
now you're thanking Boris.
I missed 8.
Oh, now it's a different fucking story.
I missed 8 months. I missed out on... Well, I'm not going to say the figure.
You would think, with all his hatred towards Boris, you'd be like, do you know what? I'm going to stand up for my morals and I'm going to turn down.
I've realised this week, I don't have a nemesis in life.
Right.
I don't have anyone I hate.
I mean, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not at all. But I've realised, like, I was having a joking conversation with someone and they were like, my nemesis. I don't have one. I actually thought about it afterwards. Like, there's no one I have ill will towards.
So if there was an actual real life purge, you'd just saying...
I'm not finished yet.
Oh, right.
So there's no one with any friends I've fallen out with over time or grew apart or ex-girlfriends or whatever it is. I genuinely, sincerely want the best for every one of those people.
Okay.
Boris Johnson, on the other hand,
except for Boris,
can go fuck himself.
You can't be nasty towards Boris. He's trying his best.
Boris, no, he's not. I hate that.
Yes,
I hate that. He's not trying his best.
He is.
No, he's not, and I hate the fact that people think that he is. Yeah, I do.
You're just going off what you see.
I've got a white coat. I've got a fucking diploma. I'm not honestly like I'm not going to get into a Boris hatred thing because I can't.
You're not a prime minister expert.
I can't put that energy into that man because he is. He's a horrendous human being.
He's a hero. He's a hero of mine. Mostly because the fact that he's our current prime minister with that haircut, like that to me is okay enough.
I wouldn't trust him to be in charge of a children's TV show.
No,
and that's about his standard.
No, that'd be weird.
He looks like a fucking clown.
What you need to say is he couldn't run a bath, let alone a country.
Not like that.
See?
Yeah.
Although it pains me to say that.
It's true though. It's true though.
In your alternate universe.
Yes. Anyway, I'm not going to get into Boris because people will go, oh, he's on about Boris again.
Boris was voted in. Oh.
People make mistakes. So was Hitler.
No, I don't think Hitler was voted.
Yes, he was. Maybe. It was they were a political party.
Did you hear?
They were a political party.
On the subject of Hitler, a alligator that was apparently owned by Sir Adolf Hitler. I don't know if he's
He's not a sir.
Probably not a
For a
sir.
start, he's Austrian.
He's not a doctor
They don't
either.
have sirs in Austria.
He's not a professor either. I bet he was a professor. But
I can't do this anymore.
an alligator,
I quit.
an alligator owned by Mr. Hitler. We'll call him Mr. Hitler instead.
No way do we endorse the idea of Adolf Hitler getting a knighthood. Just to clarify, shouldn't have to be
I'll
said.
be honest, I don't think it was ever a 50-50
I
subject.
never thought I'd have to say this on our podcast.
I don't think the Queen's going to listen to this and go, actually,
Do we miss him?
no, you're right.
Do we
You're
miss
right.
him?
We shouldn't. I mean, he was a nice guy.
But was
we
he a
shouldn't.
nice guy?
I mean, he might have been at some point.
He was a vegetarian and a painter, apparently.
Definitely not a nice guy.
But, just disclaimer, we in no way endorse.
Just because he was a vegetarian.
Promote.
Everything else is kind of, given. But just based on the fact
The
that
mass
he was a
genocide
vegetarian,
aside.
vegetarian should never be a sir. Anyway, they have been donated.
Go on.
Somebody somewhere, I'm not going to do a you, somebody somewhere
That's what beer all over my face. Then.
has donated a alligator, dead now, it's just died, that supposedly was once owned by Mr. Hitler.
I was going to do this as so again.
And they had it stuffed and they've stuck it in the museum.
Was it
I
dead?
think it's in Russia.
Was it dead when it was... Did you say auction?
It's just died.
And then it was sold?
It was 84 years old. No, they've not sold it. They've donated it. It
Oh.
was 84 years
Was
old.
it sold? Was it... You just said it wasn't sold. Was it
It's
donated?
still not been sold to anyone. It was still
I
donated.
think that rum got to me.
I think you're right.
I'm genuinely crying again as well.
I think we should do a Christmas special, but get drunk.
Oh, man, dude, shall we?
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Anyway, this alligator, just listen to the story, headline reader, and you'll get all the information that you need. This alligator has recently passed on.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Alligator. I don't know what his name
Oh,
was.
what were you saying to me
I
earlier?
don't know what his name was.
Keep that away from the desk.
Alligator.
Fucking liability.
He's just died. So they stuffed it, and I think they've donated it to a museum in
Taxidermied it.
Moscow, possibly. That was obviously like it might have been Berlin. I could be completely wrong.
I mean, they're two completely different countries. One's Germany, one's not.
Yeah, but Germany would make more sense. But I don't think they've got I don't think they celebrate Hitler in Germany.
I mean, I've been to Germany a couple of times.
I think it's quite a bad word to
yeah,
say.
they do kind of shun him.
Yeah, so I don't think it was, but it's probably Moscow because they don't give a fuck, do they? So I think this alligator
Putin's
was reputedly owned. Is reputedly the right word?
Reputedly.
This alligator was owned by Adolf.
Allegedly.
It's died. They've stuffed some cotton wool in it and they've given it to this museum. I imagine it's mounted on a wall somewhere with a plaque that says this was
Adolf's
alligator was once owned by Adolf Hitler. It begs the question. Pablo Escobar, granted, I understand why he had hippos, right? He had a great big fucking farm.
used to feed people into the
I don't know if that's true.
Allegedly.
But they're also still alive and multiplying quite rapidly. And now apparently the local authorities don't know what to do with all these wild hippos running around Colombia.
When I was in Colombia.
But no, because they're in his fucking house still.
I went to a place and you can, Guatape. Thank you. And that was like, you can see a villa that he owned there.
Anyway.
Go in Spanish.
So,
not at all. Really bad at this.
When you say Al Capone had hippos and all this sort of stuff, and you know, not Al Capone, Pablo Escobar, so Al Capone's a whole, it's probably the same story.
He had tigers.
Who did?
No, he didn't. I'm joking. That was Tyson.
Pablo
Not Tyson.
Escobar.
Tigers. It's in a hangover.
Pablo Escobar had hippos, but where he lived, it makes sense, right? Because he had like a big farm with like a lake and shit.
Escobar did.
Yes. Not Mike Tyson. So when somebody says this is an alligator, it was once owned by, and you go, yeah? And they go, Adolf Hitler.
Not the one that's knighted.
Your immediate thought is, where the fuck did Adolf Hitler keep an alligator? Like, he lived in Berlin.
Just to be clear, that was not Sir Adolf Hitler.
No, the other one.
The other one.
There might be a Sir Adolf Hitler. I don't
There
know.
might be.
Might just have an unfortunate name.
Do you reckon that name just since 1945
Has never been used.
never been used?
I've never met an Adolf.
Honestly, I've never cried this much on a podcast.
But I'm saying, do we think, again, talking to blags, it's a big Billy bullshit. Like, where the fuck would Adolf Hitler keep a fucking alligator? And then go, oh, it's died now. We're going to give it to a zoo.
I mean, he could own it. You know when he sponsor it like a star?
He just gave £2 a week. This alligator was once sponsored by Adolf Hitler.
That's what it could be.
And
And every month he gets a letter with photos
Like the little pup dates that you get. What would the alligator version be?
of like the friends he's made that week. What he's been doing, his favourite toy.
Ali the alligator has eaten 7 rabbits this week.
Yeah.
He's had a good week.
Oh, man. How many people do you think own each star? You know when someone's like, I brought you a star?
There's quite a lot of stars, isn't there?
Yeah, but
And also,
who's going to argue? Who's going to dispute it? That's my star.
that's what I said, no, that was mine. I was told that one there is mine.
If you own a star, get in touch with us.
Can't you buy a bit of the moon as well?
I don't fucking know, probably.
Who's like...
Oh, there was a picture actually. I tagged you in it on fucking the thing. I didn't read it. I thought you'd read it. There was a picture of what they think.
Is this to do with Adolf's alligator?
No.
Is this another story
It's
now?
another story.
Oh, okay.
To do with the moon. It was like an image of what they predict the moon to look like in like X amount of years.
Okay.
And it's colonized and we
I
live
didn't
on
read the
there.
article.
And I'm just like, why stop trying to colonize other planets?
Also, you could
For
literally draw
fuck's
anything.
sake. Yeah.
You could literally draw
Well,
anything and go,
we've seen
it
our
might look
edits.
like this.
The Rock wasn't actually
That's what I'm saying.
to death of
That's
Jesus.
what I'm saying. You could literally go, this is what
No,
I
but
think
it
it's going
was
to look like.
the whole thing was like it was a theoretical.
No, well, the moon, first of all, isn't a planet.
No, it's not. I
You
didn't
got
say
that
it was a
wrong.
planet. I
You
didn't
did.
say.
You stop colonizing planets. You also...
I want to make a correction on something I said wrong in a previous podcast, being this one.
Oh, so...
The moon isn't a planet.
So imagine the new... It kind of works well, because imagine the new SpaceX rocket is like a Tesla.
The one that crashed. Not that one.
No, that wasn't a rocket. That was a booster test. Anyway, imagine the new SpaceX rocket to get to Mars is a Tesla, right? The moon is a supercharger point halfway. So they have to stop at the moon to reboost to get to Mars. You can't just go, like, you can't drive to the south of France in one charge
You
in a
can't
Tesla.
just put a petrol station on the moon.
Why?
Because you can't.
You can.
Well, no, because that's like saying, if I want to get to...
There's nobody on the moon to stop you.
Yeah, but that doesn't make it right.
But there's no one to stop you.
But there's no one-
Why does it make it wrong?
But does that mean if no one wants to stop me stealing a car, I can just steal it?
Because it's the law. There's no law that says you can't put a moon
That
base on the
I
moon.
want
It's
to-
called a fucking moon base.
I-
Where else are you going to put it?
I'm claiming the moon.
Right. I don't think you can do that.
It's mine now.
I don't think that's how it works.
Show me a law.
I don't think you can just claim a moon.
What if there's never been a law? What if no one ever thought about the fact that someone could just claim the moon, right? So they never made a law for it. And I claim it, and they look at it and go, shit, we never actually made a law for this.
Would it be like Monopoly where you charge them rent every time they land on it?
Yeah.
Like, do not pass go, give me $1 million.
Depends how many hotels are built on there, though. Because obviously the more hotels you get, the more you get
True.
for income. I mean, I'll claim it in the name of our podcast. It's now the Arch of the Devil Moon.
But isn't it the flag? Like, isn't that the thing? If you whoever lands on it first,
Yeah, I'll put a
puts
flag
the
there.
flag in,
Go and have a look.
do they not claim it? Well, hasn't it already been done?
No, because that flag's gone now.
Did the Americans do it?
Yeah, they did. Well, they reckon they did, but also there's that whole argument that it was Stanley Kubrick in the desert making a movie.
Going to the moon?
Yeah.
Why is Stanley Kubrick going to the moon?
Because I reckon that's what you know in...
Was he an astronaut?
No, he didn't go to the moon.
Oh.
He fake filmed the moon footage because we landed on the moon in like 19 something, right?
We landed on the moon
Right.
now.
So that's when we landed on the moon.
Yeah.
If you're listening, that's pointless. But if
Yeah.
you're watching, then cool. And you should
You
watch.
didn't have to explain it.
I
But
know, but
carry
just
on.
in case.
You always explain
I know. I
things.
like to explain things.
No one cares.
Okay, that's true. But
No one listens.
they do, we've got
They
10
do
million
listen.
listens.
They do listen. That's a lie. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, especially you.
Carry on.
And anyway, I went round my beer then.
Tell your fucking story.
I'm telling it. So, when we landed on the moon, we didn't have VCRs, we didn't have DVD players, we didn't have an internet. So they thought, we'll make this footage, we'll show it once, and people will go, fucking, we landed on the moon. And I didn't realise that we'd get to the point where we can just watch it back over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So there's theories that we did land on the moon, but the actual footage wasn't from that, because there's arguments that the film wouldn't have survived the transition into different atmosphere.
Right.
So unless they use special...
Was that a theory or was that fact?
No. It's a
Right,
I don't want to say it's fact because I don't know enough to know if it is. But the amount of... the type of film it would have required way more. That wasn't what they used. They took normal...
To be fair, if that was the first ones up there, how would people know that it wouldn't do it? They're just guessing.
Well, no, because...
You know what I mean?
Well, no, but they know the inertia required for that film to work properly.
Sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Oh, no, it is. 100%. Sorry.
Do you believe that we landed on the moon?
Yes.
And me too.
Okay.
We can still be friends.
We can. No, I 100% think we landed on the moon.
Me too. Because I think it's a fucking... I mean, in terms of...
But the biggest argument against is that they were trying to fuck the Russians over. And there was a space race between the Americans and the Russians, who would go to the moon first.
Well, there's a TV show. I don't know if you've seen it. Possibly on Amazon Prime.
Well, I definitely haven't seen it then.
Jeff Bezos.
I don't want to be sneaky about it.
Do
Like
that. Fucking have a bit of respect for YouTube. There's a TV show. I can't remember what it's called, but it's an alternate version of the space race. So it's like the Russians got there first.
Oh, okay.
And then what happened afterwards.
Right, okay.
So like they was all gearing up for Apollo 11.
Yeah, that was when they got there.
And they missed it by like 2 weeks. Like they was ready to go. And then all of a sudden it comes up on the news that the Russians made it first.
Right, okay.
And then the fallout from that in the country, in the government, in everything, like, and what would have happened if... It's actually pretty good. Like all the astronauts or like...
Isn't there like a show where the Germans, the Nazis won as well?
Don't know.
There's something like that as well.
That sounds like a Sharknado kind of film.
No, I'm pretty sure there's a film... there's a TV show, like Iron Fist or some shit like that, which was... or The Castle in the Sky. I don't fucking know.
I think that's... Okay.
But the argument is like a theoretical film where the Germans actually won World War II.
Oh, possibly then, yeah, a similar thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think, and this like, it's all like the astronauts turn into alcoholics and they all, you know what I mean? Like they get shamed by their
But so that's the argument.
and...
So the whole thing was that the people that believed that it was faked believe it was primarily faked to defund the Russians from an actual war. Because if they were throwing all their money into the moon project...
They wasn't spending on tanks.
Yeah. So that's why they really alluded that they were going to make it. With no intention of doing so. And then fake the footage to say we've made it. So they can still have the credibility of being we still did it first. You spent all this money.
I didn't know that. I thought people thought it was bullshit just because it wasn't a possibility, not that it was like political.
No, but the Stanley Kubrick thing is...
it's always political, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always political.
Everything's always
Isn't
political.
Isn't it though?
It's a bit sad, isn't it?
It is a bit.
I've been watching Power. Have you seen that series?
No.
It's about drug dealers and stuff in New York. And I know it's old. Spoiler alert. It's about fucking 10 years old. So if you haven't seen it, don't care. It's your own fucking problem. But there's a lot about in that, and there's a lot of death, and obviously it's drug dealing and whatnot, and like they're just shanking motherfuckers left and right because they can.
Because they can.
And it all comes down to politics and money. That's the illegal drug trade. But then you've still got like these official politicians and the police force and all that know all this shit's going on, and then they use it to their advantage to get more money themselves or more power themselves. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it all comes down to, and that's what everything...
Well, I think Bhutan's the only country that runs its GDP on the happiness of the people rather than the wealth of the country. So there's 196 countries. So in Bhutan, which is in Asia, Southern Asia, they value their successfulness as a nation by how happy the people are.
Right.
And they're the only country of 197 UN recognized countries that do that.
How do they measure that?
By asking them,
Are you
doing
happy?
today? I'm all right.
Oh, we've gone down a couple of points.
But it's really
You're not
hard.
good.
So I tried to go to Bhutan.
Do they have like when you walk into the airport and they have like the 5 buttons? How was your experience today?
Happy face,
Are they
angry
just
face.
everywhere?
Everywhere's just
bang.
But the only option is the happy face.
See? Even that can be fucked over.
I'm joking. But no, they genuinely do. Like if something isn't working, they'll change it to try and please the people. It's a really hard country to get into. Not hard, it's just expensive to get into there. Which is probably why everyone's happy, because if anyone comes in,
I'm fucking minted.
Dollar bill, y'all.
Payday.
But they do that because they want primarily to function as a nation where people can succeed and prosper.
Okay.
Whereas every other country is down to wealth.
True.
And then there's the 1% conspiracy theories.
Can we just clear something up? Lewis Hamilton does pay tax. I'm just putting that out there.
Do we need to build on that, or is that?
He was in the top 5,000 taxpayers. I would imagine 95% of the rest of us was in the top fucking 65 million people of taxpayers. Lewis Hamilton was in
this country.
In this country. Lewis Hamilton was in the top 5,000 of taxpayers. I'm just putting that out there for all the Lewis haters out there. Screw you. But that's an hour.
I don't like these abrupt endings.
I know. But we need to keep the people happy. An hour is an hour.
We have got a bit more serious, so calm down now. I feel like now I'm at the point where I normally am during a podcast. I don't know what happened earlier. I had a meltdown during this podcast.
We had other stuff to talk about.
I cried a bit during this podcast.
Because I've enjoyed this one way more than last week. I thought last week was shit.
Can you not say that? Can you say that it was one of your favourite ones?
No.
What did you say earlier? Every podcast gets better every time.
Yeah, it is. But listening back to it, it was pretty good. But at the time, I thought it was terrible.
At the time.
When this finishes, I'm going to be laughing about this shit for the next 3 days.
I don't even know what we've talked about.
So, thank you for listening. Please continue to share the love. The numbers have gone up phenomenally.
They have.
The views, the listens,
we're getting consistency.
Everything else, we're doing really well. So continue to like the podcast. Continue to share the podcast. Tell your friends. Keep this going because we really fucking enjoy it.
We do. I've cried more laughing today.
We've got a lot of big stuff coming.
Did I have for a minute?
In the next couple of weeks, we're doing a few specials. We've got a lot more guests lined up.
We have Christmas coming up, and we have New Year.
We have a Christmas and New Year special of Archer and the Devil.
Can we say what the end of the year?
No, we're just going to say the specials. Okay. So we've got an Archer and the Devil Christmas special and a New Year special. We've got loads of awesome guests lined up already. 3 or 4 already in
2021.
The bag, ready for 2021. Yeah. Starting the first week of Jan, we're going to have our guests on. So it's only getting better. We are going to be running a competition shortly, as soon as the prizes turn up. Yeah. And
I didn't know about that.
So keep your eyes on social media.
That one.
Subscribe.
We are now on Stitcher. So if you know anyone who listens to podcasts exclusively on there.
Not that.
I know one.
If you're already on Stitcher, you would have already been listening to this. So it's.
I know one who was like, I can't listen to you because you're not on Stitcher. Now we're on Stitcher.
Whatever Stitcher is, we're on that.
What did you say it was?
Sphincter.
That was the one.
Thank you all again so much.
Peace.
And
love.
We will see you next week
Go
at the same time.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.